Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. So the idea for this video actually came up about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm not going to say who it was, but I saw a creator just kind of showing a photo and saying, well, this is Nichol Kessinger and this is why blah, 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 blah. And I thought there and then, I actually need to deal with this. This is unacceptable. It's 2 years later and still going on. And, well, as it happened, Detective Baumhover beat me to the punch. Some people in the previous videos said that, when am I going to get to the point? Well, my previous episode was a response to his blog, but the pertinent part is where he writes, and this is quoting from mentalarmor.org. It's about the, let's just see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th paragraph. So about halfway through. I thought you guys would read it yourselves, but this is the pertinent paragraph. Probably the most ridiculous topic I've heard about is that I retired because I'm upset over some alleged law enforcement conspiracy to cover up Nichol Kessinger's supposed criminal involvement in this case because her father is wealthy. And then he says that the idea is completely idiotic. He says, stop for a minute and think how stupid that sounds, and so on. So that's kind of how he beat me to the punch in terms of that. He specifically mentions Nichol Kessinger, although her name's spelled with an E, and it's actually Nichol. I don't mean to nitpick, but I just happened to notice it now while I was reading it out. While I was doing research for this episode, I stumbled upon a video that also, I'm not going to talk about the creator, but I see it's been viewed something like 250,000 times. It's probably one of the most viewed videos of that particular channel. I'm not going to go and confirm that, but it's certainly a lot. And what is done in that episode of this other creator is you show a person walking out of the Watts garage, and it looks like that person's wearing white sneakers, and then it cuts to Nichol Kessinger, and she's wearing white sneakers and jeans when she walks into the cubicle with CBI agent Kevin Kobach. And then these sort of scenes are juxtaposed. Nothing is said, but it's sort of like, here's someone walking out the Watts garage, and here is Nichol Kessinger walking into the cubicle. Here's Nichol Kessinger walking out the cubicle. Here's someone walking out the Watts garage again. And it's sort of juxtaposed again and again, and you have the sort of creepy music in the background. And there's kind of a disclaimer in the description saying, I'm not trying to implicate NK. I just think it's strange, kind of thing. Really? You're not trying to implicate her? Why not use her name then? Why not say, is this Nichol Kessinger, and see what happens? Why not take the video to law enforcement and see what happens? And it's this kind of opportunistic bullshit that is what is wrong with YouTube. You make a titillating video. Could this be this person? Could it be that person? It's not. And that's what this video is about. What I'm going to do in this video is show you just how simple it is to debunk something like that. Now, obviously, what I don't know, and I suspect that the answer is not a very happy or positive answer. I don't know whether these creators are looking at other YouTube videos and they just get an idea in their heads, or whether they are quite cynical and they say, I know this is going to get a lot of hits, I know it's not true, but I'm going to blah blah blah, right? For me it's quite simple. It's obviously not true. I can't speak for someone else that maybe they don't have the common sense to see that. Maybe they don't have all of the discovery. Maybe they haven't looked at it systematically. I find that hard to believe, just because a lot of creators have turned the discovery inside out And are you telling me that they didn't notice things that they've turned inside out? It's possible, I guess. But what I'm going to show you now, I hope, definitively debunks it. And I guess the only argument after this is ignorance. Is, oh, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what other argument you can come up with. Maybe you'll say, well, no, whatever you say, I still believe that and that and that. Well, with True Crime Rocket Science, we deal with facts. And not, I believe that, and because I believe it strongly, it's a fact. No. What does the evidence show? Again, I just want to reference quickly the Patrick Frazee case, where there is also CCTV footage, and that wasn't enough to implicate him. So even though he killed Kelsey Bereth in her townhome in Woodland Park, and you saw him there, right? It wasn't enough to implicate him. It wasn't enough. If you'd seen him come out and his clothes just covered in blood, or you'd seen him sort of carrying her body out, or the tote with the body in it, then it would have counted, but you didn't. That was what was odd. The CCTV footage in the Frazee case was just as kind of condemning as it was like reasonable doubt. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through this step by step, and I'm going to record my screen to show exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing, to be, let's use the word, transparent about it. And I think you might find the footage quite small because it's not going to be zoomed in. But I will, after the record screen section, I will show you screen grabs that are zoomed in of the footage that we're talking about. Now I'm going to show you a page that I've drawn up very quickly in about 5 minutes, and I just scribbled a couple of notes on the page, and the page refers to that there are 23 video clips from the file tag 187 security video from Nathaniel Tunasic. This comes from the original discovery, and each clip is sort of a standard of around about the same length of time, about 3 minutes, which is 2,300, between 2,300 and 2,500K of memory each clip. That's sort of how it's broken down. This does make it quite confusing. So it's, if you have 23 clips and each one is around about 2 to 3 minutes, it's around about 40 minutes of CCTV time. That's around about what we're talking about. It's covering that moment where Chris Watts exits the garage, gets into his truck, which is parked in front, reverses it in, and then all the activity that takes place after that, and then when he pulls the truck out again and drives off. That is what these files cover. The first video, there doesn't seem to be anything in it, but it seems to be just prior to all of that. And then the videos after 19 just show nothing. So you don't see anybody leaving, you don't see any other cars arriving or leaving. It's just kind of after Chris Watts leaves. So there are, there are 4 clips after Chris Watts leaves, after the truck pulls away. So I'm going to show that to you, how you open the files and what you see. And I hope this is going to be the final word on the whole thing of this figure with white shoes. Could it be Nichol Kessinger? Answer, no, it can't. It isn't. So I'm going to open the file, and there you can see there are 3 clips highlighted. It's number 2, number 16, and number 19. These are the 3 I'm going to open. Now, you're totally justified in saying, well, what about the rest? And I could take you through the rest. The first one, absolutely nothing happens. The second one, and I'm going to open it and show you in a second. In the second one, you see Watts walking out, and he's wearing sneakers, white sneakers. And then you see him pull the truck in. That's that one. And you can see it's darker, if I can put it that way. And then we go down to this one, and then you see the truck is parked there, and Watts is walking around the truck loading a gas can. And he sort of loads the gas can and then unloads the gas can and sort of walks around the other side. And the 16th one, I think, is probably the most important one. And then the 19th one is where the truck pulls away. So you can obviously tell that in terms of just these three, they are chronological. In other words, Watts gets his truck, or the truck is parked on the driveway, backed up to the garage. In the second one, he loads something on the truck, and the third one, he pulls away. So just in terms of these three, they are chronological. Okay, and it stands to reason that all the rest are chronological as well. So let's start by opening up this first one. And as you can see, it's quite dark. And you will notice at the 10-second mark, the figure that comes out there, right? And let's go back to it. 10 seconds, go back to it, and that person is wearing white shoes, right? And you can see it's dark, and then as you go further, at about 50, well, a little bit later, you'll see it illuminates there. There you saw lights, right? So this figure, whoever it was, went to these lights, and now what happens? Some vehicle pulled away there at the same time, and now this vehicle pulls back in. And then a figure gets out and returns to the house. There it happened. Let's try and just get it again. There it is. Okay, and that's the first video. That's all I want to show you from the first video. Now we go to the second. Now I've just got to find it again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that is number 16, and now we see it's a little bit lighter, and you can see that it's about a 3-minute clip, and you'll see in about 40 seconds a figure appearing over here. And I want you to, he's just walked out there. Now I want you to pay attention to his footwear, and it's going to appear in the next 20 seconds. So he's still in the cabin at this point, and now it's about 10 seconds to go, and he's going to appear from this side that way, and I want you to concentrate on this area. It's in another 3 seconds. Here he comes. There you see. I'm just going to go back to that. Okay, so he's walked back again, but let's just go back to it. Look at the footwear. It's white and white again, and that is definitely Chris Watts loading a gas tank into the back of his truck. It's definitely Chris Watts, there's no doubt about it. And he walks back and forth and back and forth, and he's wearing white shoes. That's also not unclear. And like I say, I will zoom it in so that you can see that. What I also want to draw your attention to is here at about 1 minute 20, he walks around this side and he seems to put down the gas can there. So let's just go back to that. So he walks around, and now about 10 seconds later he's going to come around and he's going to put the gas can down here. Look at the shadow over here. You almost don't see the shadow until he bends down. Look at the shadow there. Right? You see him bending down and then the shadow's gone. So he's left a gas can here, and this is at number 16 of the 23 videos, and there are going to be 3 left before he leaves, 17, 18 and 19. If we go right to the end here at 3:07, we're going to see Chris Watts again. This is the same video, video number 16, and you'll see that he's wearing different shoes. Do you agree with me that the person we saw earlier loading the gas cans, Chris Watts? Do you agree that that person was wearing white shoes? Okay. Now, we're going to see that same person again, and he's wearing different shoes. And we are now at 2 minutes 30. I don't want to interrupt the video because, so there was just a shadow there again. There's the shadow moving by, and then he walks back. And now we're about 30 seconds to go. I don't want to jump ahead because you'll say, or someone will say, well, you are not showing us something, or you're tricking us. So I don't want to do that. There he moves forward again. And so he's now going to come around this side, I think. And now he's in the cabin, and now we are about 10 seconds from him appearing on this side, wearing boots. It's going to happen now in about 5 seconds. Here he comes. There they are. Let's go back. Here he comes from this side. There he goes. That's definitely Chris Watts, and he's definitely wearing black boots. Here he comes and stop. There you can see. You can definitely see it's Chris Watts, and you can definitely see it's black boots. And then we get confirmation of that. Let's just run it to the end. In the 19th video, which is the final one, we get confirmation with the, let's just go to 19, so that's 16, 17, 18, 19. I think it's this one, 20, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so you can see it's again even later in the morning, so it obviously is chronological, right? And so this is where he's going to pull the truck forward at 17, so he's just done it. He's pulled the truck forward. Then he's going to walk back, and you're going to see his footwear. Bear in mind, we've just seen earlier in the previous video that there it is, black footwear. Let's just go back to it again. At 28, there it is, black footwear. So that confirms what we've been seeing. We see white sneakers in one video, then white sneakers in another video, then black footwear, looks like black boots, then black boots again. There he is again, walking out. There they are again, and then he ultimately drives off. I think he's still going to walk back at 40. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so and then at 1 minute 50, he finally drives off. So about a minute from now, he's going to drive off from that position. And so obviously this is what he was wearing when he went to the well site. He was wearing these boots. But he wasn't wearing the boots first thing in the morning. He put the boots on midway through this whole exercise. Does that make sense? So the fact that you've got him wearing different footwear doesn't mean it's somebody else. It just means he changed his footwear. By the same token, a lot of people say because Shanann was wearing a different shirt, she went to bed. That's not the case. He changed her clothes just like he changed his clothes. So now get ready. In the next 5 seconds, the truck's going to pull out. Look over here. And there it begins to move, and there it goes off. And there it goes. And then that is it. I'm not going to take it further than that. I have posted on Patreon today the second page of the letter that Shanann wrote to Chris Watts on the 9th of August. It was kind of like a love letter, almost like he seemed to be changing his mind. And so she wrote a letter to him saying that how she felt about him. And the first of the 2 pages of that love letter are in the Phone Data Review, where she took a screen grab and sent it to Sarah Nudd, but we've never seen the second page. So the second page is on Patreon right now, and it is quite, it's a full second page, and it is quite significant what she writes, and you can actually see and feel how Watts would have responded to some of these words that and sentiments in this letter. So if you want to check that out, it's on Patreon/TCRS. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.